If you've been watching recently, you'll have known that I'd mentioned we were going to do this today, and we're going to start today's video with a moment of silence for the K20. It's quite a depressing meme. This is Klink.
Alright.
He was in the last video as well. I mentioned that we wanted to film this car because this is one of, if not the best Civic that I've been in, and it was ready, finally ready for filming. He's put a lot of time into this car and a lot of effort, and quite often you see sort of K-swap Civics and stuff and they're just kind of thrown together and done on the cheap, and he's sort of gone out of his way to find like a low mileage engine and got all of the right parts. We'll sort of go through and point some of that out, and unfortunately he's just had a bit of bad luck really, haven't you? Yeah. But you do sort of have a bit of a bad luck history with Hondas, don't you?
Everything I do, every build I seem to do, it seems to either blow up or I crash it or something.
Yeah.
And this has done 2,000 miles since I finished it. And the other night I spun a bearing in it, I think, on cylinder 2. So start again, pull it out. It's going off to Airmac and Northallerton the end of this week to get rebuilt again. And then if it happens again, I'm afraid I'm done. It's game over, I think. I've had enough. But like I say, I spent ages looking for this engine. Got low mileage engine. Like everything's K-tuned, everything. Like I haven't like scrimped on anything. Everything's like a really good make, and I spent ages making it all clean and tidy as best I possibly could. And then again, it goes wrong. So it just bites me in the ass every time, I'm afraid. So see what happens.
So maybe just for a bit of context, you can explain, starting with the probably the turbo.
About 10 years ago now, I think I had a fully forged B16 EG. That was a proper EG6 as well, and that was making 400 horsepower nearly, and I had that on the road for 2 weeks after buying it and crashed it, like putting a crash barrier just at the end of my road, and then spent 2.5 years rebuilding it at an absolute fortune, probably 10-15 grand, I don't know, and I had it on the road 12 days I think it was after I finished rebuilding it, and then it was actually not Casey who died at York. It was his memorial cruise, and then I, going from Teesside Park to Recaro, I crashed it again, and then just gave up on it and wrote it off and stripped it for parts. So I thought I was done with that one. And then I've had like various Hondas since, like in between. Didn't really do much to them because I had a missus at the time, and then split up with her. Then I got this, and when I got it was B16, but it wasn't enough for me, so I built a fully forged high comp 18. I was making like 230 brake, and then that only lasted 4,000 miles in the bottom end. Let go on that, spun a rod and put a bearing through the block. And the block's over there on the floor with a big hole in it.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that in a sec. It's pretty interesting.
Cranks down there, all mashed up, and so yeah, pulled that out. Thought I'd go K20 because it's just a better option. Make the same power for less money. I didn't have to build the engine, it just make the same power as the B18.
Yeah, and I think now you can sort of admit it now you've had one, because you used to be like...
Oh yeah, I was used to be B
super
series
guy.
B series for life, B series for life. I'd never have a K20.
But like the low down torque's definitely a lot more.
Yeah, it's night and day, mate. Anyone that says B series are better, like, don't bother going K. I always just say it myself, but it's shit. It's not.
B series are cool for like the old school sort of like you really have to kick them to make them go.
Yeah, the way forward. I mean, this thing, if I'm cruising on the motorway, I'll get 35 miles of gun out of it in 6 gear, you know what I mean? Like, and still then I can go and kick it in, and then I can still have the same performance, and it's just night and day. The torque's there, the gear shifting's better, the way the engine pulls is better, just everything about it's just better. Yeah. The drivability, everything's just unreal compared with B series.
So let's have a quick look at the B series block, because you did a pretty good job of destroying that.
I'll drag it off a minute. This was 2 years ago now, like. But yeah. There's a little window that says hello there.
Yeah, we've got a few knock knock memes out with this already.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, made quite a good job of the inside. It's all scarred up and smashed there.
So you can, obviously, if
and that conrod bolt's my favourite bit.
Yeah, so
that's the conrod.
That bolt's actually from over here.
From that conrod there, and it got bounced about, and then obviously one of the other rods solidly impaled. It doesn't come out at all. I've tried for years to get it out. That's the
fully embedded.
It's an ARP conrod bolt embedded in at the block. I think that was a pretty good job.
Yeah, you definitely did a good job of it. I mean, if you're going to do something, do it right. So
see the crank.
Yeah, the crank is on the floor down here.
I kept it for prosperity, just to reminisce.
Yeah, should make something out of it. Like
I was thinking about making like a lamp out of this or something, or a coffee table out of the block.
For the memories.
Crank. You can actually see on the other end where the it hammered that bolt in it there. That's where it's hammered that bolt in the block.
Oh yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. So we think possibly well, just through speculation really, but we're sort of speculating that was running sort of 9k on a stock oil pump.
Yeah, it was 9. I was running at 9,200 RPM and never did now for the oil pump, so it's kind of my fault.
It happens.
It's a 60,000 mile engine, supposedly. It had proof, like, so it must be. Drag Cartel cams, K-Pro V4 ECU. The box is a standard EP3 box, but with the K20 diff in it. Sorry, DC5 diff. K-tune manifold, has spot mounts, which I found out were fake through that fucking PHS UK cunt. Excuse my language. That's how I feel about him. Coil rod radiator, all K-tuned hoses, K-tuned fuel rail, full K-tuned fuel setup, regulator, Warber 255 in the tank. Running DC5 shifter cables. It's got all the K-Pro bushes and everything in K-tune bushes and everything in there. What else has it got? Homemade intake, RBC inlet manifold, CPL 45 degree limited VTC, B series out CVs, K20 EP3 shafts, RPC light and flywheel, Exidi clutch. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, there's loads of fancy dress up bits in that on it, but
yeah, I mean, you're definitely an advocate for like
good parts.
The sort of cool Honda stuff, aren't you?
Yeah,
like
I won't buy Chinese shit.
Like the Scott.
Yeah.
So
like a research.
We haven't really sort of been through this car as such, because we started on the engine, but you're definitely one of those like cool Honda parts guys, and those parts are at times quite expensive. So there's no knockoff sort of replica stuff in this. It's like a genuine spoon spoiler. Parts like this, obviously, they get replicated a lot, and you can pick up in like genuine JDM side repeaters. Did you say?
Yeah.
The Enkeis you got them for a good price, but obviously they're worth a few quid.
Yeah.
What? Oh, the lights.
What? Oh,
the lights here. Denji lights. They're cool.
It's fog lights as well.
Fog lights, but they're rare on this. There's loads of like sort of rare, unique parts. S2K cluster inside. I'll show you that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I think that. So there's like a quad Recaros.
It's still powered up. That going to put on.
Nine wheel. Oh yeah,
ignore the gauges.
They're so loud. The funny thing about these is you actually put these oil pressure and temp gauges in like the day before it blew up.
I'll have no oil pressure.
But the S2K cluster's good as well. I like that.
What started up with them, make a nice noise.
DC5 shifter.
DC5 shifter, yeah. Mounting under the floor as well.
Yeah, so there's a ton of bits. Everything has been done right, which is
painted everything. There's been painted.
So the failure's really through no fault of your own, is it? Like,
no,
it's just
driving fast.
Pure bad luck and a little bit of abuse, I guess. But you were going to paint this car. The money was going to be to paint the car, but
now it's have to get the engine rebuilt, I'm afraid.
Yeah, so these things happen, and at least you did have money saved to paint the car and can fix it. So
a bit about the engine or what?
We've been over that in the first bit, so it's all good. What colour would you go with this? I want to see. So you were stuck between
yellow, white,
and red,
or blue.
Or blue. So you've sort of been through quite a few options. I think white works really well on these championship white, because it's sort of the iconic.
Ask them what they think in the
iconic Honda colour. Yeah.
Ask them what they think in the comments. Tell them what it's to.
Yeah. So what's the red?
Milano red.
Milano red.
I probably wouldn't go there. I'd probably go like a Ferrari colour or
like a deeper
red or something like that. I was tempted by the same colour as your M3.
Yeah, a Mola red. That'd look pretty cool as well. Yeah. So everyone comment what colour do you think would look best on this?
Even though I can't afford it yet because I have to fix my engine.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. If you can keep it in one piece this time.
Yeah, I'll try my best.
Right.
It'll be so much.
Obviously this is going to take a long time, so we're going to speed it up.
I only want to show you everything.
Yeah, we don't really need to show you everything. I mean, basic stuff, obviously we're going to need to take the wheels and the front bumper and stuff off just for access. And we'll sort of, when we start to get into it and it gets a bit more interesting, we'll show you a bit more.
Yeah.
Recently, sort of feedback I've seen and people I've spoke to outside of YouTube and stuff, people are saying that they'd prefer to see like this type of thing, sort of more real people doing real things rather than like sort of highly produced videos. So if you like, leave some feedback on that. If that's what you'd rather see, it's probably something I'd prefer doing because I just prefer working on cars and stuff. So
I think a lot of the time I actually prefer working with this than driving it, you know.
it is part of the fun. It is like, as much as like
something to do.
the spending money part of it's obviously the bad bit, but like working on cars is sometimes just as much fun as driving them. So that's probably what I'd prefer to film. But obviously feedback wise and stuff, if you'd like to see some sort of higher end stuff as well, we could work on that.
Health tip, eat whatever you want, but just have one meal that day. Look at how gorgeous it is. Oh my god. Get a good sweet shot of that. The glistening.
Dropped the coolant in the radiator, took the loam off, and
Fuel system's off.
the fuel system's off, and it's time to check the oil. So obviously, because we said it's knocking, it's spanner bearing, so that's where we're going to see if there's any
Debris.
sort of metal debris in the oil. And we can also snip the filter open and have a look at that as well. Focus. There.
See the metallic particles.
Yeah.
I'll have to cut the filter open and have a look. Thick oil filter.
You got to be quite like destructive, but not cut it, because it's like.
Yeah, you don't want to use a grinder like that, just put more metal in it, don't you?
Yeah, if you use a grinder or a saw, you just falsifying what you're looking for, because you're gonna put a load of metal dust in. So yeah, you can definitely see.
Doesn't look good, like. There's definitely metal in the filter.
Yeah, I've definitely seen a lot worse though.
You can see it. Yeah, it's
like it's still very fine. There's no like harsh
there's no
shavings or
big
anything.
chunk or anything like that. There's a bit there's a good bit there. Look, see the gold there.
Yeah.
Oh well.
It's probably just wiped the bearing, isn't it? And not really.
There's no big chunks in it. Oh, there's a couple of chunks, but I'm quite pleased. This doesn't look anything OTT, so it's just have to get the bearing out and have a look.
Yeah. Right, Aaron's arrived. We currently, status update, the power steering has moved. We just took the pump off and moved it out of the way because it's easier. Klink is removing the drive shafts at the minute. Klink's smoked about 40 tabs because he's stressed.
Just taking my manifold off.
Head's still looking quite shiny.
My head.
Yeah.
Get that out.
That's all 3 mounts, isn't it? Oh no, we've got that one. So we had to take the exhaust off just for clearance here, and to get to the engine mount. That side's off, and that one's to take out, and we're going to try and lift it straight out. Some clever dicks routed the clutch to through the engine mount here, so
I don't want to take it off, so
yeah, it'll be easy to take the mount off because it's going to have to come off anyway.
yeah, put you this side. come backwards. Straight up?
Yeah. Go straight up.
Please watch that shot and the paint and everything. Just going to be nice all the way around, isn't it? Yeah. So,
Just some pressure on it that way a bit.
I'm pushing it a bit closer.
yeah, we're close there. Yeah.
I think we're clear this year.
Just this end, almost down. Oh, that's really. Good. Oh! Oh no!
Ah,
Yeah, it's pretty much as hard as I can go, 'cause it's on the arms. I'll clear if I do it. I don't want to do effort.
Get some line in first.
Put it forward there a bit. Pull it forward.
Yeah, we can go higher now.
Yeah.
Just a bit there, sound. Nice one, lads. Thank you very much.
Oh, now we're at that beam.
So I was turning it now.
What's the light?
Right, yeah, that'll do. Just leave it there. Thank you. All.
K-swap has gone.
Sweating my tits out.
We've had enough for today, but obviously the inlet manifold in the box needs to come off and the head needs to come off as well.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Yeah. Just taking a short block. The bottom end is going to AMAC, which is a local company and they're really good. They build a lot of sort of old race engines and they do a lot of high-end stuff as well, so they're definitely trustworthy.
Yeah.
This is going to be sort of sat around for a while now, I guess, isn't it? But
yeah, it's going to just stay like that. I'll try and get the garage door shut.
yeah, hopefully, yeah. Yeah, so these things do happen from time to time, even when you buy good stuff. But it's one of those things. And
I'll give you an update when I get it back.
yeah, we'll do an update.
We'll put it back together and
see if they sort of figure out what caused it, but it's, I suppose it's going to be quite hard to tell, really.
maybe being an idiot, I think that was the...
Yeah, but I mean, they're supposed to do that, and
I know.
but yeah, so we'll do an update when it comes back, and everyone leave Klink some nice comments.
Yeah, motivational comments, please.
Yeah. the most the most motivational comment will.
I'm sensitive.
Yeah. It's just